Welcome back, warrior. Okay, we are on Ether chapter 10. Okay, we're making progress, even though we've been sick. So, I feel like, did we read Ether 9? Yes, we are now Ether 10. Okay. We are still working at getting better. We're going to be better all the way. We're just going to decide it. We're just going to decide it. It's like a mental thing, right? Hopefully. Okay. Chapter 10. One king succeeds another. Some of the kings are righteous. Others are wicked. When righteousness prevails, the people are blessed and prospered by the Lord. So it's just like another little pattern of what things are. So now we have Ether chapter 10. And it came to pass that Shez, who was a descendant of Heth, for Heth had perished by the famine, and all his household, save it were Shez. Wherefore Shez began to build up again a broken people. And it came to pass that Shez did remember the destruction of his fathers, and he did build up a righteous kingdom, for he remembered what the Lord had done in bringing Jared and his brother across the deep. And he did walk in the ways of the Lord, and he begat sons and daughters. So we're like in Shez. Shez is working the system. He knows what to do. If we're righteous, we'll be blessed, right? If we're righteous, we won't destroy ourselves, because that's what happened before. And his eldest son, whose name was Shez, also, aka Shez Jr., did rebel against him. Of course, had to be the oldest, something with that oldest kid. You know what I'm saying? I'm an oldest child. I can say stuff like that. But but also we have an oldest child, and I can also say stuff like that because I'm like, what is up with the oldest kid, right? Oh, bless them. We love them so much. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's because we're first-time parents, so the oldest gets a lot of responsibility, but then also they want to try everything on their own without mom and dad telling them what to do. Anyways, I know I can totally speak from experience. Okay, so nevertheless, Shez was smitten by the hand of a robber because of his exceeding riches, which brought peace again unto his father. Dang, that's not nice. Shez Sr. was sad about it anyway. Even when our children are rebelling or being mean to us or whatever, we still love them to pieces, Okay, verse 4. And it came to pass that his father did build up many cities upon the face of the land, and the people began again to spread over all the face of the land. And Shez did live an exceedingly old age, and begat Replakish, and he died, and Replakish reigned in his stead. Replakish is a cool name, right? Like Replakish. You just want to keep saying it, which is great because we're going to keep reading it. And it came to pass that Replakish did not do that which was right in the sight of the Lord. Oh, so we like his name, but not his action. For he did have many wives and concubines, and we don't like him there either. And did lay that upon men's shoulders, which was grievous to be borne. Yea, he did tax them with heavy taxes, and with the taxes he did build many spacious buildings. Here you see a leader doing that with the wives and concubines. What stops the community from not doing those same things, right? And then, so when you see leaders acting like this, it's almost like permission for other people to act like that. And so it's a really bad example, right? That's the problem with living here in Utah, because you see your fellow saints in church, and then you see them at schools and making poor choices, and then you think, well, it's okay because so-and-so is doing it, and then it's not, right? And it's just like, hey, just because so-and-so makes bad choices does not mean that that is okay or that was good for them to do. So anyway, that's what's hard about living here in Utah. But then there's hardships for living other places, right? Where I was the only member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in my whole high school and my whole middle school, and my whole, well, I don't know about elementary. It feels like it would have been my whole elementary, but I never really asked. But yeah, nobody was in my ward that was close by. But see, in elementary, we were still going to Spanish branch or Spanish ward, so I wouldn't even know. But so maybe there were some people that were members, but I wouldn't have known because I was going to the Spanish ward. And then they had us switch to the English ward. And then once we went to the English ward, I knew that anybody in a certain area would be going, that was in my ward, would go to my school or not. And so like everybody did not go to our schools. Anyway, it was wild. So and there was a different responsibility that came with going and being the only member in my school also. And so it's just different, right? Okay. And let's see. He did tax them with heavy taxes, did build many spacious buildings. Verse 6, and he did erect him an exceedingly beautiful throne. Oh, good job. Good job, Replakish, because you needed one of those. And he did build many prisons, and whoso would not be subject unto taxes, he did cast into prison. And whoso was not able to pay taxes, he did cast into prison. And he did cause that they should labor continually for their support. And whoso refused to labor, he did cause to be put to death. Well, I like hardworking people as well, but you know, we don't need to kill people. But like, hey, how about we say that to our kids? Hey, if you guys refuse to work, we're gonna kill you. That'd be harsh, right? Except Replakish was the laziest guy, obviously, trying to tax people without having to work for any of his stuff, right? So that's kind of ironic that he would cause people to be put to death if they didn't want to work, but he's like the biggest lazy guy. Hello. Anyway, verse 7, wherefore he did obtain all his fine work. Somebody else's fine work. Yea, even his fine gold he did cause to be refined in prison, and all manner of fine workmanship he did cause to be wrought in prison. And it came to pass that he did afflict the people with his whoredoms and abominations. Ugh. And when he had reigned for the space of 42 years, the people did rise up in rebellion against him. Finally, somebody. And there began to be war again in the land, insomuch that Replakish was killed, and his descendants were driven out of the land. Woo! That's verse 8. Okay, so we had Shez, and then we had Replakish, which was the son of Shez. Shez reigned in righteousness. His oldest son rebelled against him, but then that guy died. And then he had Replakish. Replakish reigned in wickedness. Okay, so that's where we're at. But then Replakish just died. So who's going to take over? Let's see. And it came to pass after the space of many years, Morianton, he being a descendant of Replakish, okay, gathered together an army. It doesn't say he was his kid. He just says it's a descendant. Maybe it was from one of the concubines. Anyways, gathered together an army of outcasts and went forth and gave battle unto the people. And he gained power over many cities. And the war became exceedingly sore and did last for the space of many years. And he did gain power over all the land and did establish himself king over all the land. So Morianton. So Morianton was the next king. He's a descendant of Replakish, but we don't really know how. He gained power over the kingdom. And let's see, what else is he doing? Verse 10, and after that he established himself king. He did ease the burden of the people, by which he did gain favor in the eyes of the people, and he did anoint him to be their king. So he can anoint himself, apparently, to be the king. And he did do justice unto the people, but not unto himself, because of his many whoredoms. Wherefore he was cut off from the presence of the Lord. So he was trying to be nice, but the ladies, they still see, I feel like us ladies get distracted by all the shiny things, and then we put up with things like being a concubine or being a mistress or being a girlfriend to people who already have families and stuff. And sadly, I don't know how many times I'm going to have to reiterate the fact that our confidence does not come from how many guys we can hook up with. It comes from the Lord. And I think that when that is missing in us, that is what we tend to do. We tend to seek favor in the eyes of men, for example, or in the eyes of our friends by likes and followers. And instead of seeking the favor of God, and it seems like it's a lot of work, but honestly, it's like more work to try and seek the favor of guys and other people than just seeking the favor of God. It's actually quite simple to seek God's favor and to feel loved from him. Literally, look at me, the way I am wearing my clothing. I couldn't be more covered. Yes, I could wear something over my face, but like, I don't feel like I need to hurry and like show myself to anybody to get approval, right? And it's not anything else except the fact that my relationship with my Savior could be better, with God could be better, but it's there and I can feel his love for me. And so I think that's where we need to start focusing. Stop worrying about how many likes we have. Do you know that I've had the exact same amount of followers probably since, let me think, on Instagram. I'm specifying Instagram because I don't know how many followers I have everywhere else. But like the same amount of followers probably for like the past 10 years. And occasionally, I will say, occasionally I get the inkling of like, oh, I need more followers. How is it that I haven't gotten more followers? And then I'm like, no, it's fine. You don't need that. That's not what it's about, And so I'm like, okay, like I gotta remind myself. But it's funny because when I do get out of alignment, I have to come back and center myself back on Christ and realize, okay, that's not what's important. What's important is my relationship with my Savior. And that's what's most important to me. So anyway, sad that there are those ladies who are still putting themselves out there and being a poor example, like using themselves as objects to do this. Like, if none of us women were willing to do that for other people, they wouldn't do that with us. They just wouldn't have that ability. Like, I don't know. I guess there's those who abuse, and then that's a whole nother story. But anyways, we have a choice. Okay? Okay, so I just went and got some spinach. Does spinach always get in your teeth? Always makes my teeth look more green. It's just a thing. Anyways, do you see? I don't even care how I'm showing up on the internet here. Okay, because that's not important to me. What's important is my relationship with Christ. Okay. And I really want to show up like authentically here, because I feel like how else can I read my scriptures, right? I'm not trying to be fake reading. Anyway, so here we go. And it came to pass that Morianton built up many cities, and the people became exceedingly rich under his reign, both in buildings and in gold and silver and in raising grain and in flocks and herds and such things which had been restored unto them. And Morianton did live to an exceedingly great age, and then begat Kim. And Kim did reign in his stead, or in the stead of his father, and he did reign 8 years, and his father died. And it came to pass that Kim did not reign in righteousness. Well, because he was on the border, right? Like, Morianton made some good choices, but then there was a lot of bad choices in there, He basically did things to help the people like him, but wasn't doing things that strengthened his relationship with Heavenly Father and Jesus Christ. And so, of course, his kid is not gonna have a strong footing, and it's just all about how other people think of you, right? So when you establish that as like a base in your parenting, how's your kid going to think anything else? So it's just going to go worse, right? So, and it came to pass that Kim did not reign in righteousness, wherefore he was not favored of the Lord, and his brother did rise up in rebellion against him, by which he did bring him into captivity, and he did remain in captivity all his days. And he begat sons and daughters in captivity, and in his old age he begat Levi, and he died. Okay, so wait. His brother rised up in rebellion. So I'm confused. We'll read it back in a second. Okay, verse 15, and it came to pass that Levi did serve in captivity after the death of his father for the space of 42 years. And he did make war against the king of the land, by which he did obtain unto himself the kingdom. So Levi made war in the land. They had another battle. And after he had obtained unto himself the kingdom, he did that which was right in the sight of the Lord. And the people did prosper in the land, and he did live to a good old age, and begat sons and daughters, and he also begat Coram, who he anointed king in his stead. Okay, so Levi was the son of Kim, okay, and he served, So Kim's brother was the one that rised up in rebellion against him and brought him into captivity, but then Kim had Levi. Okay, so Levi was the son of Kim, served in captivity for 42 years, so he was about 42 when he made war against the king and won the kingdom back. So it takes a while to win kingdoms back. But he was righteous, and then they had a prosperous time. Okay, then Coram. And it came to pass that Coram did that which was good in the sight of the Lord all his days, and he begat many sons and daughters. And after he had seen many days, he did pass away, even like unto the rest of the earth, and Kish reigned in his stead. And it came to pass that Kish passed away also, and Lib reigned in his stead. And it came to pass that Lib also did that which was good in the sight of the Lord. In the days of Lib, the poisonous serpents were destroyed, wherefore they did go into the land southward to hunt food for the people of the land, for the land was covered with animals of the forest, and Lib also himself became a great hunter. Oh, good. And they did build a great city by the narrow neck of land, by the place where the sea divides the land. And who wants to watch Moana 2 all of a sudden? What is it? What's that verse in the song? When the sea and the sun. I don't know. I'm not going to try singing, especially not while I'm sick. But you know the Moana song I'm talking about. Just sing that to yourself in your mind, because that's what just came to mind right here. Verse 21, and they did preserve the land southward for a wilderness to get gain. Okay, not get gain, which is a totally different thing, but to get gain, which is food, right? Animals. And the whole face of the land northward was covered with inhabitants, and they were exceedingly industrious, and they did buy and sell and traffic one with another, that they might get gain. Right? Okay. And they did work in all manner of ore, and they did make gold and silver and iron and brass and all manner of metals, and they did dig it out of the earth, wherefore they did cast up mighty heaps of earth to get ore or of gold and of silver and of iron and of copper, and they did work all manner of fine work. And they did have skills in fine twine linen, or silks. Skills, they had skills. They did have many skills, actually. And they did work all manner of cloth, that they might clothe themselves from their nakedness. And they did make all manner of tools to till the earth, both to plow and to sow and to reap and to hoe, and to also to thrash. Okay, so I love how industrious and how productive people are when they are righteous in the sight of the Lord, right? Like, it just, like, when you are good with the Lord, he like blesses you to like want to do a lot of good things. Like, these people feel like they were busy doing good things, right? Learning things, creating things, selling things. But when they're wicked, all they think about is how can I be better than somebody else, right? And then that's what it's all about. And then it's just like about, we're just going to kill everybody. And there's no prosperity. It just kind of, everybody just like implodes. And then like, they're all gone. And they, let's see, verse 26. And they did make all manner of tools, which they did work their beasts. And they did make all manner of weapons of war. And they did work all manner of work of exceedingly curious workmanship. And never could the people, let's reread. Verse 28, and never could be a people more blessed than were they, and more prospered by the hand of the Lord. And they were in a land that was choice above all lands, for the Lord had spoken it. Oh, awesome. And it came to pass that Lib did live many years and begat sons and daughters, and he also begat Hartham. And it came to pass that Hartham reigned in the stead of his father. And when Hartham had reigned 24 years, behold, the kingdom was taken away from him. And he served many years in captivity, yea, even all the remainder of his days. Who did that? Who did it? So the royal line in captivity, and he begat Heth, and Heth lived in captivity all his days. And Heth begat Aaron, and Aaron dwelt in captivity all his days. And he begat Amnigaddah, and Amnigaddah also dwelt in captivity all his days. And he begat Coriantum, and Coriantum dwelt in captivity all his days. And he begat Com. I feel like there was another Com somewhere. And it came to pass that Com drew away the half of the kingdom. And he reigned over the half of the kingdom 42 years. And he went to battle against the king Amgid. And they fought for the space of many years, during which time Com gained power over Amgid and obtained power over the remainder of the kingdom. Okay, so now, so many generations later, the royal line was in captivity, but then Com got him out. And in the days of Com, there began to be robbers in the land, and they adopted the old plans and administered oaths after the manner of the ancients, and sought again to destroy the kingdom. So secret combinations coming back, making a comeback. Not that we want them to. So now Com did fight against them much. Nevertheless, he did not prevail against them. Oh, sad, huh? Okay, so Com was born in captivity, drew away half the kingdom, ruled over half the kingdom for 42 years, went to battle, gained back the rest of the kingdom. Oh, nice. I think the other one was, I think I put it right by Frodo's things, upstairs by his room. The little one's upstairs by his room. Amazing. I'm so glad you found it. It's like a little nativity nested dolls thing. Okay. The return of secret combinations that sought to destroy the kingdom. Com fought against the secret combinations but did not prevail. Many prophets prophesied and were rejected. Com protects prophets, and Com is blessed. So we don't learn anything about the other kings who were ruling the land while the royal line was in captivity, but we do learn that wickedness was spreading so much that there was a return of secret combinations. When Com became king, he fought against those secret combinations, but he was not successful. In the past, secret combinations were conquered, but not this time, and the Jaredites were now getting closer and closer to their final days. Sadness. Okay, so now we're going to read it, live it, from chapter 10. Chapter 10. All right. Nope, I'm going the wrong way. Here we go. Let's go the right way. I always do that. Okay. Here we go. Here's chapter 10. Yeah. Did you find it?
One of the pieces. Mama, one of the pieces.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So it says, Shez also remembers what the Lord has done in bringing Jared and his brother across the deep. He speaks of it, and it begins to build up again a broken people. Speak of the great things you remember about the Lord. Oh, I love that so much. build up the broken. Yes, I agree. And I think it's so important for us to remember what has happened in our past and to help our posterity know where they come from and have that connection and that responsibility as well. Okay, and that is the end. Until Ether chapter 11. Stay strong, warrior.